Hey YouTube land, it's Andreas here doing another action figure review. Now this is for the new 2018 Mattel uh, Aquaman Movie verse TrueMoves 12-inch scale Black Manta, which is a bit of a mouthful. I picked this guy up recently. He's quite a cool figure, but I'll get into the figure in a minute, onto the box itself. So the box is actually different to the standard kind of TrueMoves figures. If I just bring in the Mr. Freeze one, this is the kind of standard Batman missions ones. This is the new Aquaman movie design. So it has the kind of ocean kind of sea pattern on the box. It has an image of the figure on the front. It has the Aquaman name. It has kind of armor plates from the Aquaman costume. Black Manta, TrueMoves. It shows the figure in different poses on the side of the box. It shows the point of articulation on the figure, and it shows other figures in the wave, which is Aquaman himself, and I think he's called Orm, I think is his name, the other kind of guy with the purple and silver deco. And then you got Black Manta, his name in different language, whole bunch of legalese stuff, more images of the figure, and then just images of Aquaman from the movie, and just more legalese stuff. Down in the bottom corner it shows the one part that you have to assemble. There's a small bit of assembly required when you get this guy. But onto basically the only assembly is this backpack piece. I haven't been able to take it back out once I clicked it in, so I'm assuming it's designed to be, once it's clicked into place, that's how it's supposed to be. Now, unfortunately, you're probably going to be hearing stuff smacking off the roof here in the background. It's quite windy here, and there's things just slamming against the roof. It's a metal roof, so unfortunately you'll be able to hear things and sounds possibly in the background. So if you do, just forgive me for having my review space in a shed. So onto measurements. Height wise, he stands just a little under the 12 inches mark, or just under 1 foot, or 30 centimeters. And his head is a little bit different to the previous one that I reviewed, which is the 6-inch version. It's actually, it doesn't seem to be as wide. The other one seemed to be a little bit more oval shaped. This is a little bit more smaller. I'm not sure if you can see that. But for articulation, he has arms out to here. Now he does have suffer from the same issue that the previous one did, where the armor plating kind of hinders his joints a small bit. He has 360 in the arms. Well, he has 360 in the right arm. He doesn't have a 360 on the left because of this hose piece. It's exactly like the smaller figure. You have the double hoses connecting out here. When you are connecting the backpack, you just have to make sure that the hoses go through here, because they actually are attached to the figure when you get it. The backpack doesn't have the hoses connected to it, so you have to make sure there's a little gap where the hose is fit through. When you're connecting the backpack, you just need to make sure that gives a bit of free movement, or a bit of movement through the gap. There's no turning on the thrusters like on the smaller version. His head is on a ball joint, so you can get side to side. You can get a small bit of tilt. Can't really get much up and down out of it, but it is on a ball joint. He does have the single jointed elbow, and you have a swivel in that joint as well. It is hindered a small bit by this kind of curve on the elbow for like moving it. So you can move it off the side, but you have to kind of angle it out a bit. He does have rotation in both wrists. He doesn't have any waist swivel, which is a shame. I think this guy would have been perfect for waist swivel. It would have been one of the things I think would have made him a good bit. Just that bit more kind of, I think he would have benefited just a little bit more from having waist swivel. In fact, I think all the line probably would have. And you got splits. He can do the splits that much. His back is hindered by his armor sculpting. He can kick out that much. Single jointed knee, no rotation in the knee, nothing in the ankle, and he has 2 peg holes in the feet. Now, the head sculpt is really cool. I'm not sure if you can see this. One thing that's kind of weird is that his eyes are translucent, so you can see into the head, but it's not completely clear. But if you were a customizer, which I'm assuming people will probably pick this up for doing so, you could probably disassemble the head. I'm not sure how it's attached. I think you could just pull it straight off. I don't want to assume that you can, but you probably might be able to. You probably should be able to disassemble the figure entirely, just given enough skill. And what you could do is you could probably put an LED system into that head. Maybe cover up behind the eyes so it just shows out through the eyes, and you could have the head light up through an LED system. Or some sort of small lamp or something like that for customizers. I'd say that would be the easiest thing to do, to kind of replicate the beam effect or whatever way you wanted to have the thing. And because the backpack is separate as well, you could probably take it apart and figure out some way of putting the button system in underneath the backpack and having it where you press the button on the back and it's a hidden button just here or in the backpack itself, and the eyes light up, so it wouldn't be too bad. One thing that's different between this guy and the smaller version, aside from the lack of accessories, the smaller version had a sword, but the smaller version also had a wrist blade that came out from this wrist, from his left wrist. He doesn't have that. He does have kind of, I think, the piping for it, which I think is what gas jet thing for it to shoot out with. So he does have the kind of piping system for it, but he doesn't have the actual the blade itself. Just for scale comparison, here he is next to the Mr. Freeze figure that I reviewed recently. If we can just get my Batman figure. Unfortunately, I don't have an Aquaman to scale him up with. Here he is with the Batman. Let me see if I can get the Batman. Here he is with my slightly customized Justice League Batman. So you can see the scale, the movie-verse kind of scale. This is some sort of stealth suit Batman that I kind of fixed up. It's kind of a translucent figure, but I kind of gave it a wash so you don't notice it as much. But there he is, scaled up with some of the Batman figures I have and the Mr. Freeze figure. So all in all, he's a really cool figure. If you're a fan of the 12-inch 1:6 scale, he's actually quite good. There probably will be more high-end versions of this guy, like Hot Toys will probably do something, or even, you know, some of the other companies out there that are starting to do 1:6 scale figures. There probably will be a few of them out there that will do some very like super articulated high-end versions of them with LEDs and with light-up gear or something like that. But if you're on a budget, this guy is probably your best bet. He was a bit price-wise, he's around $14 or €14. I'm not sure what price he is in the States. I think they run around $11 to $12 States in the States, these figures. I could be wrong, but overall he's a good figure. I do recommend picking him up. If I had something of a sword, actually, let me just check here. I do have this random sword, just so I can see if he can hold kind of standard 1:6 scale weaponers. With me a moment. Yeah. His hands are sculpted with trigger fingers, so he could probably hold a few standard weapons. It might be a bit of a tight fit, but you can get him to hold a few kind of things like swords and stuff. So all in all, you probably could get something weapon-wise to fit him that would look appropriate. But overall, he's a good figure, and I do recommend picking him up. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video review for the Black Manta Aquaman movie version. As I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.